Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. To the Honorable Mr. Tanzil Mulazam, as the Director of Krishna Achitnya Media Nusantara, Mr. Andri Putra Kesmawan as the Head of Relawan Jurnal Indonesia, Dr. Hidayatullah Magister Sains as Director of Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo, and Mr. Wisnu Pangga Setiono, Sarjana Ekonomi Magister Sains, Doctor of Philosophy, as the Dean of Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo, the Associate Professor Ilham Sentosa, PhD, University Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Profesor Dr. Pujiono, Universitas 11 Maret Indonesia, Dr. Siska Diana, Sarjana Hukum Magister Hukum, Universitas PGRI Madiun, Indonesia, as our today's keynote speakers, and all our beloved participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our virtual conference on social science in Laos, political issue, and also economic development in collaborations of Krishna Nusantara, Relawan Jurnal Indonesia, and Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo. Before we go further, let me give you the information about the first FICOSPILET 2020. So this agenda is a collaborative conference of Krishna Nusantara, Relawan Jurnal Indonesia, and Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo as the co-host. Krishna Nusantara is a company which is a business unit of Relawan Jurnal Indonesia, a non-profit association that focuses on the development of scientific publications in Indonesia and around the world. Relawan Jurnal Indonesia is also an organization that has 1,400 publishers who are the member of RJI. And then the conferences held by Krishna for these years are this one, the first FICOSPILET 2020. It is for economic and social science. And then first ACHOS 2020 for health and also food science. And then a second ICC 2020 for energy, environment, and earth sciences. And then apart from holding conferences, Krishna also trusted by some universities in Indonesia to organize some seminars such as AFBE UB 2019 by Universitas Brawijaya, and then IJAS PJS 2019 by Universitas Indonesia, and then ISEMINE 2019 and 2020 by UPN Yogyakarta, and then ICN SSE 2020 by UHAMKA and others. So here Krishna has a commitment to maximize the scientific impact of the research in Indonesia and around the world. So for further information about Krishna, please visit krishnanusantara.co.id, or you may send email to krishnanusantara@relawanjurnal.id. So good morning, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment the official YouTube of RJI. And if you have some question around this virtual conference, you can share in a chat and also write a comment in a YouTube. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next agenda is the national anthem of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya. To all participants, please mute the sounds. Thank you.
Indonesia kebangsaan, bangsa dan
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, next is panelist photo session. So, the committee will take panelist photo. Please, to all panelists, you have a chance now. Okay. Okay. Is that finished? Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the main sessions of today's virtual conference and social science in law, political issue, and also the economic development in collaborations of Krishna Nusantara, Relawan Jurnal Indonesia, and Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo. Okay, I'm really glad that today we have 4 keynote speakers. The first one, we have Mr. Wisnu Panggasetyono, SAMSE PhD. Good morning, sir. Okay, and then we have the second one, the Associate Professors, Ilham Santosa, PhD from University Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And then the third one, we have Professor Dr. Pujiono from Universitas 11 Maret, Indonesia. And the last one, we have Dr. Siska Diana Sari, Sarjana Hukum Magister Hukum from Universitas PGRI Madiun. Good morning, all the speakers. So, and let me introduce myself. My name is Dwi Rosita Sari as today's moderator. So, we will decide today's agenda into 2 sessions. The first one is 2 speakers with question and answer sessions, and then followed by the second sessions. Our keynote speaker will have give a speech during 45 minutes each. So without not longer, I will come to our first speaker. Good morning. Here we have Mr. Wisnu Panggasetyono, SAMSE PhD, the Dean of FBHIS, Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo. Good morning, sir. Oke. Ya, selamat pagi, Bapak. Sebelum lebih lanjut, saya akan bacakan biografi beliau. Beliau menyelesaikan S1 di Universitas Muhammadiyah Malang, jurusan manajemen, kemudian S2 beliau di Universitas Muhammadiyah Malang juga di manajemen keuangan pada tahun 2005, kemudian S3 di Victoria University of Melbourne, PhD in Finance, selesai dan mendapat gelar di tahun 2016, begitu Bapak. Kemudian pengalaman penelitian beliau terakhir fokus pada risk management dan juga bankruptcy ya di ini besar sekali, beliau sering menerima hibah begitu ya Bapak, terakhir 150 dan 50 juta lah Jen. Oke, terima kasih. Ini yang beliau bisa sampaikan. Beliau lahir di Purbalingga 7 Desember 1973. Okay, today he focuses on economic issue. Then time is yours. Terima kasih, monggo Bapak.
Thank you, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Well, I would like to thank Allah, of course, for this fine and peaceful morning, this clear morning. I don't know in your place, it's clear or rainy, because the season is rainy season. Next, I would like to greet the honorable speaker who will share amazing knowledge of us today. First, I would like to greet Professor Giono from UNS, Universitas 11 Maret. And then I would to greeting Associate Professor Ilham Santosa from KL University, Kuala Lumpur. And then my colleagues, Dr. Siska Diana. I think we ever meet in Magelang as associate law dean, I think. And then I would like to you, Miss Dwi Rosita Sari, as from Donghua University, I think. On the
Thank you.
information. And then I would also like to welcome for all of the participants today. We have 250 hours as participants. It's good. Uh, as as the co-host of this virtual conference in social science and then law and economical development, I, as Dean of FBIS, we call FBIS, Business Faculty, and then Law Faculty and Social Science Faculty. Because before we become merger at last year, I think, in 2019. Uh, we merged together as uh, business, law, and social science faculty. Three faculty become one. So this topic, I think, uh, is similar with our faculty. It's good. I say to Mr. Azam as the organizer from FGI and from PT Kesna Via Nusantara. I said this is quite interesting topic. So I think I would like to give a credit for you of PT Kesna and FDA Relawan Jurnal Indonesia. And then I want to say that the theme of virtual conference, because uh, we all know in Indonesia, especially today we have three big issues in law and also in political and in uh, business or economics, I think. As before, we came from three different uh, part issues. First, for economics. Now, today we facing crisis economic. Ms. Simwani also has said that Indonesia uh, will be facing crisis, and we know in the street or the market or uh, supermarket, we, we realize that uh, the customer become down and then the market becomes very sharpless. Not good, not but good. It's the first issue. And then the second issue, for the today in this moment, Indonesia has been uh, facing like we call demonstration. A lot of demonstration uh, in all of part in Indonesia because the issue of political issue, especially for omnibus law issue. I think today Ms. Siska Diana will mengupas tuntas ini. What happened behind omnibus law issues? Because the side of from government said that the omnibus law not delayed or erase the law before, but the issue is already big and bigger and bigger. So di saat pandemi ada isu, ada demonstrasi, terus banyak penumpang gelap, wah susah. Mudah-mudahan kita selamat semuanya. And then from the political side, yeah, we also now facing region election, pilkada serentak on December. We have a pandemic, COVID-19, and then facing pilkada serentak, we call election in around Indonesian part. So this is the biggest issue also. How the pandemic will be going on if the democracy will be facing pilkada. So I think all of participants or all for pembicara. So I think this will be interesting issues and how Indonesia will be facing. Of course, for the first thing, I think this meeting will very interesting topic. So I said to Mr. Azam, it's good topic and then this appropriate with our faculty. So why not? It's interesting. I think three issues will be discussed together, and then I think this is for me, Ms. Yurosita Sari. Thank you for all of them, and then bila taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for Mr. Wisnu Stiono. Then I will move directly to the second speaker. We have our second speaker. Here is the Associate Professor Ilham Santosa, Doctor of Philosophy from University Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you all?
Good morning. Welcome to this virtual conference. And today I will deliver business ecosystem and local empowerment for pandemic recovery. Then before that, I will read some biography about Associate Prof. Ilham Santosa. Firstly, I'll start from the education. He pursued bachelor degree in public management in the Institute of Government Study in Indonesia, finished at 21, and then Master of Public Administrations in Gadjah Mada University, Indonesia, finished at 23, and then he pursued Doctor of Philosophy in Human Resource Management, University Utara Malaysia, and finished at 28. So I'm going to the professional experiences. So many. Then maybe I will read some, the latest one. Okay. He is a lecturer and DBA supervisor in Ballarat University, Malaysia, at 2014, and then also senior lecturer in City University College of Science and Technology, Malaysia, from January to December 2012, and then as the associate professor of Central of External Program, and also in City University College of Science and Technology, Malaysia, and then the associate professor of Business School in University Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia from 2015 up to now. And then research coordinator business school, in University Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, start from 2015 up to 2017. And then I'm going to the teaching experience, also so many. Then I will read also the latest one. He is a DBA and MBA thesis supervisor in University of Wales, Newport. And then the thesis supervisor, MBA, PhD, DBA in City University College of Science and Technology, Malaysia, start from 2010 up to now. And then the international journal reviewer and the chief editor of, so many. 2012 up to now. And then the latest one is the internal and external examiner for PhD, DBA, Viva, FOS, and then the Indonesia, Malaysia, Australia, Pakistan, Myanmar, Cambodia, and also Singapore. From University Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, start from 2010 up to the present one. And I'm going to the expertise. Now the current research interest in integrating meta-analysis into system dynamic and structural equation modeling, or SEM. And then the awards and also fellowship, he got Gold Award as the Outstanding Paper Award in Applied International Business Conference 28 Malaysia. So good morning, sir. Okay, welcome to this virtual conference, and you have 45 minutes to deliver your material. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Ms. Moderator, Ms. Dwi Rosita Sari. I should call you Dwi or Sari? Dwi? Okay.
No, it's okay.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you so much for Susan Anna, to join the virtual conference on social science in law, political science, and economic development. Okay. If you see in here my backgrounds, I'm right now is totally relaxed because
it's okay.
After subuh, then just spend time with the exercise a little bit. Just finish exercise, suddenly my team told me, Prof, this is time for your talk. And then I just rushing around. All right, so I'm in Kuala Lumpur right now, in Kuala Lumpur in KL. Yesterday we had a fundamental. Just to share a little bit before I talk about my topic. Okay. Yesterday we had a fundamental second wave of lockdown in Malaysia, especially in our area. I'm staying in Selangor. Yeah, I'm staying in Selangor. It's about 45-50 minutes from KL. And then some. If you see today that morning, normally we repeating again the first time of lockdown, because of the elections. Last 2 weeks we had elections, Pilkada, and then with all the infrastructures, but again, our lovely friend COVID still spread. Maybe I can share a little bit for just a kind of like discussions related to our topic today. And that's the consequences again. Start from yesterday, lockdown. So again, WFH, work from home. So morning, I work for my daughter's. If you see, I'm in my daughter's rooms right now. So afternoon, later on, I will move to my sons, and then evening, later on, I will move to the dining rooms, and then by late midnight, because I get another discussions with the European colleague, we should move to my office. Okay, but what is the message in here is today we need a lot of discussion like this. to share our idea. This is the most important thing, to share our experience, and also to formulate what is the alternative of what we call it as a solutions, solutions that could be facing around us. This is the message that I want to convey to all of you, in our discussion room today. But actually, anyway, thank you so much for the committee invited me to join the sessions. I'm pleased and honored to join the sessions. First of all, I'd like to introduce, my name is Ilham Sentosa. You can call me Ilham. Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Sentosa Ilham, and I'm on Instagram, sentosa.ilham. Okay, orang Padang dari Minang, but yeah, grew up in Bandung, and stay right now in Malaysia. Okay. All right, I'm staying in Malaysia for 17 years, and then right now is associate professor with the University Kuala Lumpur Business School. Jadi mau ngomong Sunda ayu, mau ngomong Minang ayu. But when I saw just now that I love speaking English so much, to continue the traditions. Since this is we call it as a conference, so much better for us to share our idea in English. Okay. Anyway, I'm totally happy, and please, Miss Dwi, is it?
Yeah.
Please allow me some idea, because I have prepared just a little bit about my idea.
Yes,
Right.
please.
So I want to confirm that you can see my screen right now. Kelihatan ya?
Already, yeah,
Okay.
but it's still in some slide.
Yes, I have a lot of slides, but I try to make it short, because I like to make it short. Because I do believe that on discussion is much better for us to get the formula rather than you see the slide. Slide is only just a kind of like entertainment, to support my understandings. All right, so currently I'm an associate professor with University Kuala Lumpur. Okay, University Kuala Lumpur. We are located in surrounds of Peninsula Malaysia. Okay, we have 13 faculties. Yeah, our main in engineering. We have marine engineering. We have aviation engineering. We have a design. We have electrical. What else? We have medic, pharmacy, and so on. But I'm engaged with the business school. Okay, the business school. All right. So feel free. I have share my numbers. I have shared my email. So I do believe that our discussions today is the starting point for our next. So I want to talk about this one, because I do believe that in Indonesia, we already moved, from the left side to the right side. Okay. This is the thing that I have done for the past, I think about 15 years. 15 years, not only in Malaysia, but also in the regions. We talk about transformations of because I got the idea from the committee that I should discuss about economic development. So I tried to highlight, try to touch a little bit about how the current economic movement, where are we, and where should we go next. That is very simple. I try to make it very easy, for our discussions this morning. All right. Anyway, Miss Dwi, just let me know once the time is over, because as lecturers, we just talk. We like to talk,
Okay.
Okay.
I will remind you before 5 minutes before.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So if you talk about in Indonesia right now, I do believe that a lot of startup, lot of creative youngsters, a lot of creative millennials, like our age right now. So ngaku millennial. So in order to what we're doing right now is we are here already. That we are transforming the raw materials into a ready halfway products, from raw material to the ready product. So we are there, But the things in here is what we have to do right now related to what Pak Wisnu mentioned just now. During the current situation in Indonesia, there's so many challenge opportunity. I put this idea made it to matter. So I copied this thing when I was in MIT in the US. So what are the things that we have to do during the pandemic right now, especially when the recovery of the pandemic? So let's we put our hopes that we believe that in Indonesia right now, I'm not sure we are in the first, second, or third wave. I don't care, even in Malaysia right now, we are already on the second wave. But the thing in here, I want to see what's next, what we want to do to the future, what we want to explore, and how to do it. This is my concerns right now. So anyway, I have shared the slides, right? I have shared the slides, so maybe you can see the detail later on. So I have wrote a lot, in the newspaper in Indonesia. Sometimes on the local newspaper, koran-koran di kabupaten kota, provinsi, and also national newspaper. So every time when I wrote, every time when I come up with my writings, so my concerns to the stakeholder right now, my concerns to the discussion that we are doing right now is how we are able to design a local ecosystems. Number one is to design. Number two is to sustain a local ecosystem. So this is my topic. This is my concerns for our discussions right now. Okay, an ecosystem which focus with the local empowerment. This is my concerns right now. If you talk about economics, investments, you know that the access, especially in Indonesia right now, is blocked by, I'm not sure, it's about 58 or 70, but I don't care, I don't care, because we have a lot of natural resources. For me, it's more than enough for us to survive, But the thing in here, for the recovery, because we talk about the economic movement, so what we have to do. So every time during the talk, I mentions to the stakeholder, I mentions to the those who attended the discussions that if you have ecosystems, the next question is how you are able to sustain the ecosystems. If you currently the ecosystem like puzzle, let's make a cycle. Let's design the supply chains of the ecosystems. So, but they said, Prof, we don't have investor yet. I said that impossible to get investors, especially right now with the lot of conflict, lot of I say the positive conflict, lot of challenges, from the national, from the international. So let's talk around us. Let's talk what we have, what we have in front of our eyes. Let's talk about what we are able to do in order to penetrate our locals, our local ecosystems. The idea is like this. Nggak usah lihat yang jauh-jauh dulu deh, saya bilang gitu. Let's we see that what we have in surround our kampung, what we have surround of our desa, village, what we have surround of our district, kecamatan, and then how it can be connected. That is the most important thing. So the supply chains must be there. Okay. Time being, during the pandemics is good that I'm staying at home most of the time. Staying at home, a lot of friends, colleagues from Indonesia, we have discussions. From Bali, from Lombok, from Sumatra, from Pariaman, and so on and so on. There are discussions on how to, during the pandemic, is kind of like maintenance, kind of like designing our machines. So inshallah, once the pandemic is getting better, once the pandemic is getting over, then we start the button. So friends in Bali right now, we know that tourism is collapsed, But I talked to them that agricultures we have there, so SME, souvenirs, we also there. Okay, but how right now the local government must design a cycle within the puzzle that you have, the cycle within the entrepreneurs, UKM, the entrepreneurs surrounds our area to make sure that it's connected from dot to dot, but the money must be surround them, the idea in here, okay, I'll give you a simple example about e-wallet. So I talked to them that e-wallet right now in Indonesia, if you talk about the payment mechanisms, how much the e-wallet right now is belong to our local owned. That in here, most of the e-wallet is the money is go out from Indonesia. So again, koperasi in here. Koperasi, let's say the koperasi is hidup segan mati tak mau. So I said that let's we bring them into the pictures. Let we bring them into the society. Let's bring them into the cycle, into the ecosystems. All right. So we have a lot of experience. We have a lot of resources. We have a lot of manpower. We have a lot of the commodity. Let's reconnect all the dots. Kita coba dari kecil dulu deh. Let's we try from the small connections. Let's we try from the small community. Then I do believe that during the pandemic when we design with the systems, with the, of course, with the commitment, commitment with the local stakeholders, inshallah, after the pandemic, after the pandemic is the best time right on for us to push again the buttons. Okay, the idea that I put today is about the ecosystem, how we are able to design the ecosystem and to sustain the ecosystem in order to do movement for the business recovery. So if you see in here, this is I get from the Inventures, from my click. So if you see on the right side, the rice, the rice in here, do not see the left side, the fall. The fall in here, if you just keep argue on the fall, we go nowhere. But let's come up with a solution. That's why I like these discussions. I like morning discussion like this. This is totally good, to refresh our brain, to refresh our mind. If you see on the right side, the rice in here, there are so many dots. There are so many. We have a home fitness, cleaning service, pharmaceutical, food delivery, logistic, grocery. When we see the items on the right side, yang di atas sebelah kanan, then we can see that we have all, we have all the things. What about the technology that we have? We have the technology, but the idea in here is don't talk about sky yet. Don't talk about something is beyond of our control. Something is beyond of our. We try to maximize the current technology that we have in our hand. Teknologi tepat guna. Okay, so the idea in here is during the pandemics related to the economic movement. Number one is we talk about the ecosystems. Next, my concerns related to the economic movement is about data. It's about big data. This is the thing that still we are lack. But we are there. So that's why the ecosystem, once we design the ecosystem, the business ecosystem, just small cluster of the ecosystem, make sure that the database, make sure that the big data is there. That for time being, what is our gap? What is our weakness? We just realized that we knew that data is the things that we need to talk many times. I need to remind myself. I need to remind all of you in here that I do believe that all of us, we have activities, that we have capacity to design our interactions with our community. So data is the most important thing in here. We talk about the big data, like because we know everybody right now there's a movement of the freelance worker and all the multitasking. I do believe that after the recoveries, after the pandemics, all the design, all the new normal is there. All the normal is there. Of course, when we talk about data, this is other challenges that we are facing right now. But if you see the list, about the online financial pricing, cloud, real time, we have already. Social media, Indonesia is leading right now. Okay, but the thing in here is on how we are able to design the movement. Is it the movement? So I come up with a simple equations. Okay, ecosystem plus local empowerment. Ecosystem plus local empowerment. So that's why I'm quite disagree if we say that sedikit investor. I said that let's we design our own investments. It's about commitment of us. It's about how the local stakeholder able to utilize. Nggak usah lihat yang jauh-jauh, nggak usah lihat tinggi-tinggi. Kita lihat di sekeliling kita dulu aja deh. Kita cukupkan kita cukupkan perut tetangga-tetangga kita dulu. Kita cukupkan. We try to maximize what are the details that we have in our hand, and we try to utilize. I have practiced this formula to few friends in city and regions level, kabupaten kota. Then I talk to them that how many cluster of ecosystem do you have right now? Ecosystem untuk peternakan ikan, ecosystem for the desa wisata, ecosystem for this ecosystem. Let connect all the ecosystem become a supply chains untuk kabupaten, supply chains untuk kota. So we talk about small things. Don't talk about Jakarta is crowded right now. Okay, Jakarta is crowded right now. So every time during the talk, as I just mentioned, that what happened right now upstairs, let them move. Let them move. We just watch from behind right now. But of course, we cannot just wait. We have to do something for our own. We have to do something that if we just keep argue what happening right now in Jakarta, what we can still argue what happening right now on the national level. So without design a movement, without executing some executions for the local level, then we go nowhere. So that's why I thought in here that yuk kita buat ekosistemnya, kita melakukan pemberdayaan masyarakat dalam tataran yang jauh lebih konkret ya. We try to make it grounded, we try to make it just a very real, So it works, it works. Alhamdulillah, it works. Some of desa wisata kopi right now is they're starting selling kopi. Not only Indonesia, not only about national, domestic or national market. They start to export. It's not only just about waiting for the foreign investment. Of course, we need foreign investor. But in here, my concern is how the locals, because if we talk about foreign investor, we talk about just a B2B level. What about our society, society level? This is the most important thing. So there's so many right now. Desa Wisata is they're starting to design their own souvenir, which is the online platform, the e-marketplace. Right now even get a lot of order. So now the sustainability must be there. The sustainability must be there. For example, in North Sumatra, in Medan, because it's very close with the Peninsula Malaysia, so a lot of materials came from Aceh, Medan, Padang, Riau. So this is the best time right now for the even Malaysia is locked down, but the good is not locked down. Tapi barang-barang masih tetap masuk dari Indonesia. So this is the good things that even countries around South Asia, they block our passport to go to their country, but the material still requested. This is the thing that I said that. So we try to see that there's some small possibility, there's some small gap that we are able to enter, and then we know that the business is there. Let's we utilize. Let's we put our peoples, our ecosystem to design the things. So normally, if for doing ecosystem, normally I ask our friends, okay, let's we design a very simple mind map like this for those who are familiar with the design thinking, system thinking. Since this is conference, so I do believe that when I see your flyers that you talk about a lot of research paper, so I do believe that participants later on, just remind a little bit. I do believe that all of you must be there. This is the last time before we went for lockdown. I was in Yogyakarta, but this is not in Yogyakarta. This is in Bantu, in Sleman, in Sleman. So we are doing Desa Wisata for this one. All right. So what else? This is one thing that I want to share. Last one. Okay. After ecosystems, after we talk about the big data, last thing is about the social business learning in here. So the key of sustainability is about social business learning. How the movement sustain. This is the most important thing. It's about social business learner. How the social entrepreneurship spirit can be installed to the local society, to the local ecosystem. This is the most important thing. The social business meaning like this, meaning that we try to touch the heart. We try to bring all the stakeholder, the stakeholder into the ecosystem. I'll give you an example. Cheese nut, kacang kenari in Alor. This is the best cheese nut, in Asia for time being. I said for time being because a lot of requests, not only in Indonesia market, but actually a lot of requests from Malaysia, Singapore, because the cheese nut from some Alor, the cheese nut from NTT, and then later on export to Malaysia, export to let's say in Selangor, and then later on, can you imagine just a 1 kg cheese nut, and then later on become a small pieces of cheese nut, then entrepreneur in Malaysia sent to London, sent to around the world. What I in here right now is I can see that when the investor come to the area, so petani dapat apa? This is the thing that I can see. The petani is only, our farmer is only just get a small pieces. So I talk to the local stakeholder. All right, we do something right now. Let's do another movement. It's not right now. Let we move to the raw material to halfway material, which is right now market is around the world. If we enter Alibaba, there's so many requests from the chestnut. So the idea here, we don't need broker, we don't need a middleman in here. So our petani, our farmers able to do it. So Ilham, how to do it? You have to do it, not me. My job is just to give her. My job is to push. My job is to see that this is the media on how to do it. But make sure that petani, make sure that our farmers, okay, make sure that the family of the farmers involved in this activity. So why? Because later on the value, the value, especially for the product, for the product. Previously, it was just about $1 or $2, but right now we have to move to make it become $5 or $6. There is a movement from $2 to $6. So that is the best thing that how we are able to. But I can see that bringing the ecosystem, and also we are able to bring them to the ecosystem. Then the sustainability is there. It's about social business learning. Okay, so I conclude my talk today. Okay, there are three keys. Yeah, there are three keys for us to. I have so many things that you can see in my presentations. Yeah, so there are three things that I summarize. For my talk today. Number one is about the ecosystem, how we're able to design ecosystem. Number two is to design and to sustain the ecosystem. Number two is about big data. Yeah. Of course, if you talk big data to farmer, some of them is already implement big data, but it's not materialized yet. It's not systemized yet. That is, of course, need our touch in here. All the scholars in this room, okay, all of us in this room, we have to contribute. Number three is about the social business learning, how we are able to design the experience of stakeholder that later on will involve on the ecosystem. Thank you so much for your kind attention. So I open for the sessions later on. I close my talk. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So thank you so much, Professor, the Associate Professor Ilham. So he already confessed all the materials, and then before we go to the question and answer sessions, let me give a simple review from both speakers, the first and also the second one. Mr. Wisnu Stiono focus on today we will discuss about the economic and also law and also political issue of what happened in Indonesia, especially in this pandemic conditions. And then for the next from the Associate Professor Ilham Sentosa, that we find that in Malaysia, this is the second wave of pandemic after election. I'm sorry to hear that, but in Indonesia, that's still the same, the conditions here. So yeah, we still banned by so many countries. As me, myself, when I want to come to my colleagues, that's really difficult. So here we are in a conditions of recovery. So Professor Ilham said that so many things that we should do in the future, especially that you should believe that you have the empowerment, you have the ecosystem, and then I think that the local governments should activate this mass UMKM, like koperasi, and then teknologi tepat guna. Then we just believe that Indonesia is also rich of this local empowerment and also ecosystem. So you should come to the nearest thing that you have. And then the second one is the social business learning should be familiar with the local people in Indonesia, so that this crisis will be will be solved like that. Okay, maybe we have some questions from our participants, and I will open maybe to question for first session for Professor Ilham and also Bapak Wisnu. It could be live and also chat. So maybe for the live one, please. You can raise the hand and also unmute your sound. Silakan. yang mau bertanya via live chat, mohon maaf, live sounds. Selamat pagi. Oh, belum ada? Oke. Oh, belum ada ternyata, so no live sounds. Hello. Okay, we have some notice, but may you unmute your sounds? Hello. Okay, let me read the question from the chat. The first one is from the YouTube here. Maybe for both of you. Pertanyaannya, bagaimana membuat pengusaha di level menengah ke bawah bisa bertahan di era pandemi ini? So we focus on SMEs or UMKM. How they can deserve in this pandemic era. Maybe you have some suggestion. May I start with Pak Wisnu? Hello, good morning. Pak Wisnu, masih dengan kami? Or maybe Professor Ilham, you may start first with the answer. That the question is how UMKM or SMEs can survive in this pandemic era. Thank you.
Okay. We talk about the practical. We talk about practical answer because currently I'm helping the so many small mediums enterprise, small medium business UKM in Indonesia. The most important thing is the principle is about collaborations. Collaborations. As I mentioned just now, when we design the ecosystem, it's about collaborations between one dot to another dot. So right now during the pandemic, I do believe that market is quite slow. Market is quite right now is stuck, stuck in middle. But actually, it's not. Actually, it's not because market is not only market. Can you imagine, sir? Indonesia right now is 300 almost 300 juta almost 300,000 almost 300 millions population right now. And also, if you talk about ASEAN right now is 700, 700 millions populations. There is the big market, big market. So every time I talk to the entrepreneurs, especially for the young entrepreneurs, when they mention about right now is the business very slow. Yes, business is slow because we saw the thing in front of our eyes. But if you dig more deeper and deeper, actually the market is right now is very big, very, very big. And I mentioned just now about my experience about the cheese nut, kacang kenari itu, kacang kenari. When they mentioned about market right now Indonesia is slow, I said that yes, your market Indonesia is slow, but actually when you go deeper to the e-marketplace right now, the market is a very big. Right now, the community have or the ecosystems, you have to design the logistic. How the effective movement of the logistic. We know that right now most of the airline they switch their business model right now into the logistic. Number of people flying right now is very less. So that's why to survive right now, most of the airline they move their business model into the logistic. I said this is the best situation. This is the best chance, and also the price right now is very, very low. I thought this like this because I'm doing, that's why I know what's happening. I know where is the whole. I know where is the best situations because I'm doing with my hand the situations. A lot of friends from Sumatra, from Aceh, from Medan, they say that Ilham, we are lack in terms of stock right now because request from Malaysia, request from Thailand right now is a lot. I talked to them that be careful if you sign contract. If sign contract for 2 years and then suddenly you cannot fulfill for 2 years contract, then penalty. That penalty. I talked to them many times. So again, now if you talk about survive during the pandemic, the most important thing is about collaborations with the social media, with the e-marketplace. There's so many with digital branding, digital marketing. There's so many chance for us to go further. Of course, when we talk about, for example, digital marketing, it's not just simply that through the social media. Of course, we have to learn, landing page. We have to learn the search engine optimization. We have to learn about the Google advertising. So this is the thing that I call it as a small gap, small hole that we are able to transform as an opportunity for us to enlarge the business. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the quiet answer from Pak Ilham. Then there is a question, second question. Based on your experience in Malaysia, I think the characteristic of the society in Malaysia and Indonesia is relatively the same. For example, in discipline and also culture. So during this pandemic, what is the Malaysian do communally? What is the Malaysia government have done to help people, especially in economic during this pandemic? And the next question, is it effective or not? So maybe you have some ideas about this, sir. Please.
Okay, if you talk about learning from Malaysia experience, of course, I do really agree with Pak Andri Sugiono, Sunyigono. I'm sorry, Pak Andri Sunyigono. I'm sorry if I spell your name wrongly. Okay, what has the Malaysian government conducted, during the pandemic? I have explained in my talk just now. It's about designing the ecosystems. We believe that right now market is very slow, market is stuck, but Malaysia government is encouraged right now is encouraging small business SMEs. We talk about corporation right now is stuck. If we talk about all the internationals, all the multis right now is stuck right now. So of course, in order to make sure that the foundations is strong, they have to survive. They have to survive. Then the SME is the answer. Now, we are lucky in Indonesia because we have raw material. In Malaysia, we don't have material. We don't have raw material. Yes, we have material, but very, very small, very, very less. Of course, this is a good chance, for Indonesia entrepreneurs, for Indonesia SME to see that Malaysia is a big market. Malaysia is a hub, as a hub in order to go further to Middle East, in order to go further to the Europe markets, So it's about collaborations. I do believe that some of our entrepreneurs already collaborate, especially those in Sumatra, because through the spirit of collaborations, then we are able to enlarge our business. Next, what is government Malaysia? Help people, especially for the economic. There's so many regulations. There's so many regulations. Of course, we cannot compare Indonesia and Malaysia in terms of the success. The capacity of 30 million and also 300 million is a different. The capacity of the people, in Malaysia, the number of population is just only 30 million, less than 30 million. 30 million. So of course, if you talk about the success, if you talk about the indicator of success, we cannot compare. We cannot compare. But of course, if you talk about regulation and policy, there are so many policy belong to the local economic movement, the local ecosystems movement. So the policy is helping, helping the entrepreneurs. This is how Malaysia governments effectively able to manage pandemic. For example, today, when yesterday yesterday evening, when the government said that lockdown, of course, everything is lockdown. If right now I see a lot out of my windows, so in front of my eyes, on the street is empty right now. The street is empty. It's totally empty. So of course, for the next until end of this month, we just stay at home. If we go out, just 1 or 2% just to purchase some of the groceries, But that is the regulation, which is we talk about how the people, how the people is the people's what awareness, on the regulations, also different things. Okay, so in conclusion, when we talk about currently it's about the helping locals, helping peoples. Of course, my concern is on how the locals SME that exists, or local SMEs that currently is not there yet, we're able to facilitate them into the ecosystem. Thank you.
Okay. This is also related to the previous question from Erisa Almaidah. Saya ingin bertanya kepada Pak Ilham, intinya kita kan harus memberdayakan sumber daya alam yang ada di dalam negeri, tidak terpaku pada investor. Tetapi prosesnya kan lama begitu untuk recovery perekonomian. So maybe you have ideas about this, sir.
Ya. Kita harus memberdayakan sumber daya alam yang ada. Jangan terpaku dengan investor, setuju. Tapi prosesnya lama untuk recovery perekonomian dan investor adalah cara yang cepat. Jadi sekarang ini mau cara cepat atau cara lambat nih, mau cepat atau yang lambat. sebetulnya sama aja ya. Saya melihat bahwa ketika dengan investor pun belum tentu semua investor bisa sustain loh di Indonesia itu, apalagi dengan kondisi kondisi yang uncertainty apakah pandemik, apakah dari regulasi dan sebagainya. Saya tidak mau membahas tentang politik ya, tetapi investor juga kan ketika datang ke Indonesia mereka harus melihat bahwa they want to see whether they can sustain or not because they bring money from outside. Oke. Cara lambat. Saya mengatakan cara lambat sebetulnya nggak lambat juga gitu. Nggak memberdayakan sumber daya alam, tetapi prinsip ada kolaborasi. Kita lihat bahwa startup yang ada saat ini di Indonesia adalah we are in the best situation because we have all the natural resources, all the natural resources. What I have mentioned just now through the example yang Kacang Kenari tadi, itu hanya satu contoh kecil, dan masih banyak lagi yang lain. Sabut kelapa, cengkeh, banyak banget deh pokoknya. Too many, we have a lot of things, but the excuse me, about the natural resources empowerment. Now, kenapa saya bilang harus kolaborasi? Kolaborasi ini bukan hanya kolaborasi Indonesia. Saya melihat bahwa kolaborasi antara SME yang ada di regional. That's the reason why I'm staying in Malaysia. One of the keys, one of the keys that I can see here is how, the SMEs in ASEAN, SMEs on the settings of ASEAN right now must collaborate. Natural resource-nya mungkin ada di kita, teknologinya mungkin ada di Singapura, tengah di Brunei, tengah di Malaysia. Dan kemudian marketnya sebetulnya bukan di ASEAN, marketnya kita bisa lebih jauh lagi ke Eropa dengan ke Middle East. Nah, ini yang saya melihat bahwa prinsip kolaborasi ini yang harus kita pelajari bersama. Kayak tadi, ketika kita bikin digital marketing ya, banyak startup bikin digital marketing. So saya tanya, sekarang digital marketingnya udah ada big datanya belum? Kemudian mereka bilang, wow ini menarik, harus kita explore. That's why I talk to them that because terutama milenial lagi booming sekarang bikin startup. But I talk to them that how you are able to sustain your business. This is the most important thing. So they say, Prof, we go for the digital marketing. Oke, digital marketing saya tanya satu deh. Oke, sekarang udah berapa hitungannya untuk landing page-nya? Then they surprise. This is something that we have to learn. This is something that there is a simple technology. Which is, of course, this is the beauty of our discussion, that we are sharing the information, we are sharing the knowledge, we are also sharing on how to do it. So itu salah satu contoh yang ketika nanti menggunakan digital marketing, so you have to go with the all calculation, you have to do with all the detail about how the landing page able to maximize, to maximize your sales. Not only just about promotion, not only just about the awareness, but how you click the deal. That is the most important things. Itu salah satu contohnya deh. Baik, terima kasih.
Oke, terima kasih banyak Pak Ilham. Saya berpindah ke Bapak Wisnu sebentar. Bapak Wisnu, ini ada pertanyaan dari Saudara Morris. Bagaimana pandangan Bapak terhadap dampak Undang-Undang Omnibus Law terhadap ekonomi di Indonesia? Seperti itu Bapak Wisnu.
Baik, ya, terima kasih. Mohon maaf, sempat offline sebentar. Jadi ada beberapa hal yang harus kita pahami mengenai Omnibus Law. Dalam Undang-Undang Omnibus Law yang sekarang ini, itu kan banyak sekali ketidaksepahaman. Kunci utama atau masalah utama itu sebetulnya adanya gap informasi yang seolah-olah undang-undang ini dibikin secara terburu-buru. Sosialisasi dan sebagainya belum sampai menjelaskan secara detail kepada masyarakat, sehingga ini banyak sekali yang disalahpahami oleh masyarakat. Yang kita pegang sebetulnya bahwa Omnibus Law ini adalah undang-undang, bukan menggantikan undang-undang yang existing. Ini yang seringkali dilupakan, sehingga banyak hal yang mengatur di Omnibus Law itu tidak menjawab atau bahkan seolah-olah itu mempertentangkan atau berbalik pada undang-undang sebelumnya. Banyak sekali hal yang sangat tidak jelas. Misalnya pendirian PT, misalnya masalah ketenagakerjaan dan sebagainya. Sehingga hal-hal yang rancu ini sebetulnya jangan buru-buru ini diputuskan, tapi disosialisasikan, didiskusikan kepada masyarakat, kepada akademisi dan pengguna yang lainnya, supaya semua bisa memahami secara utuh bersama-sama. Walaupun kemarin Bapak Presiden Jokowi sudah membantah ataupun menjawab berbagai macam pertanyaan, tetap saja karena terburu-buru kelihatan sekali yang tadinya ada sekitar 1.000 lebih kebanyakan Omnibus Law sekarang sudah menyusun menjadi 900 dan simpang siur yang kemarin istilahnya didemokan atau dipertentangkan sama teman-teman mahasiswa, pelajar maupun para pekerja dan sebagainya itu dampak dari ketergesa-gesaan. Saya katakan ketergesa-gesaan. Kita tahu Omnibus Law yang seperti di Indonesia pernah dilakukan oleh beberapa negara Eropa. Itu prosesnya itu sampai puluhan tahun untuk menyamakan persepsi dan sebagainya. Nah, di sini kelemahan kita ini adalah adanya terburu-buruan masalah di situ, sehingga muncullah masalah, salah persepsi dan sebagainya, ada ketakutan, ada ketidakjelasan hukum. Nanti mungkin Bu Siska yang bisa mengupas lebih dalam ya, karena misalnya ada teman dari salah satu kantor notariasan ya, dari pendirian PT sekarang satu orang bisa kan gitu ya di ini kan sudah mengeliminir atau seolah-olah itu menghapuskan ketentuan bahwa yang namanya PT itu ya beda dengan CV atau sebelumnya itu yang hanya satu orang. Nah, ini hal-hal yang masih dipertanyakan, dipertentangkan itu sebetulnya nggak bisa begitu. Kelemahan kita kemarin adalah kuncinya ada di buru-buru dan ketidakterbukaan informasi, baik oleh pemerintah maupun oleh teman-teman yang ada di dewan. Jadi intinya sebetulnya mudah. Khusus juga. Terima kasih. Saya kira itu dari saya.
Oke, terima kasih banyak Bapak Wisnu. Sudah beliau sampaikan bahwa mungkin ini faktor ketergesaan dan mungkin nanti bisa dikupas tuntas oleh Ibu Dr. Siska ya di belakang. Baik, terima kasih banyak Bapak Wisnu. Selamat pagi. Saya kembali ke Bapak Ilham. So masih banyak pertanyaan, tetapi mungkin the last two questions will be. So I come from the first Tika Taskia. The question is shifting professions from service sector to online business would be a new strength for Indonesia for the economic of Indonesia. How it can lead it in Asia? Thank you. Silakan Bapak Ilham.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Tika Taskia. All right. Shifting profession from service sector to online business. Okay, if you talk about would be a new strength for Indonesian economic, the answer is yes. It's a must right now. Okay, it's a must. We don't have options. We have to go through. Yeah, we have to face the challenge that we have to go through all aspect. All aspect. But of course, it's a blended. We just cannot just rely on the online business. Must be blended with the physical activity. Since during the pandemic right now, it's quite difficult for us to move forward with the physical activities. Then online business is the answer. Online business is the answer. From service sectors, for service sectors, then we talk to online business. My humble opinion like this. Why don't you just combine? Why don't you just merge your service with the online platform? Why don't you conduct your service sectors and then you support with the touch of the online taste. There's so many right now technology to support your service sectors. You can use artificial intelligence. You can use augmented reality. There's so many online activities. That we are able to do to support our service sectors. Thank you, Ms. Dwi.
Okay, maybe we have the last, but maybe that's almost the same with others. Then we are focused on the SMEs or UMKM. So to Professor Ilham from Siti Aisyah. how to develop UMKM in the midst of the current pandemic, or where the capital is hard to come by, and while there is a lot of demands, things like that. So give your ideas. Thank you.
Very good questions. Yeah, very good question, because I'm facing a lot of same question like this every day. They say that right now kita nggak ada modal, Pak. Nah, this is the thing that but we have idea, but we have natural, we have the sources. So I talk to them like this, what about network? Do you have network? Yes. So how you're able to engage with your network? So I say that the engagement of the network, that is actually your capital, with the spirit of collaborations. Right now is the concerns right now from Siti Aisyah as about the capital. Of course, to answer this challenge, and to answer this challenge, is not just simply that we just take our finger, but there is a technique. There are some techniques on how we are able to utilize. For example, the principle of the crowdfunding. Principles of the crowdfunding is one of the easy and simple technique on how to do it. But of course, there's some tips and trick on how to get it done. It's not just simply that we ask people to come to see. If people doesn't like our product, then how? If people doesn't like, so of course in here there's a discussions needed in here. For example, if you want to sell your idea, if you want to not selling your idea, if you want to introduce your idea to bring people involved with your business, this is also another discussions needed for us to go for the mungkin seminar berikutnya kali ya kita agendakan. Because this kind of like challenge most of the millennials who have started with the startup, So I talk to them that, Pak, modal nggak ada modal nih, gimana Pak? Kan kita mau ekspansi tapi modalnya nggak ada. Terus I talk to them like this. It's not just simply about capital, but how the idea itself. Okay, kalau boleh izin ya Mbak Dwi, ini saya lihat ada pertanyaan berikutnya dari Pak Evan Agung Junior, because it's related with the social business learning that I mentioned in my slide just now. So from the capital to sell the idea, but actually it's not only just for your personal for your self-esteem, but on how you're able to engage with the community, you engage with the society. About social business in here is how you're able to linkage buyer and seller without the middle persons. Sekarang kan yang terjadi di Indonesia, brokernya kebanyakan nih sekarang nih. Yang orang tengahnya ini brokernya banyak banget nih. Bocornya tengah mulu nih. Apalagi kalau brokernya jadi regulasi, ya nggak nih Pak Wisnu. Kalau broker jadi regulasi susah nih kan sekarang. Tapi saya nggak mau nyentuh politik. I don't want to touch about that things, Because if I talk about with the data, and then later on become our discussion become not interesting, If we have another session, then it become interesting. We talk about how the regulations we calculate with the data, we calculate the big data, and then we integrate become an ecosystem. Then at the end of the journey, untuk teman-teman yang mungkin memahami sistem dynamic, mungkin bisa memahami apa yang saya sampaikan, bahwa with the system dynamics we are able to see whether at the end of the journey is it positive negatif, itu aja. Dari sekian banyak pasar, dari sekian banyak, termasuk yang tadi kita mengatakan kapital, sebenarnya kita masuk dalam ekosistem itu kita dengan kita hitung, we are able to understand that at the end of the journey is about profit or about loss. But there is a technique on how we switch, on how we transform yang tadinya loss itu become a profit. That's why social business play in the middle. The same thing like right now, people keep arguing about the regulations, about omnibus law. We talk about, people keep arguing about all this thing, but of course, from the economic perspective, we have to calculate. We have to come out with the calculations. We have to come out with how we are able to integrate, to execute, to the max. We talk about 300 millions of Indonesians. We don't talk about just about 100 or 200 people in here. We talk about millions. But of course, I don't want to touch about that issue. Maybe later on, our next panelist will continue further on how to see and help. But the most important thing is what is the best solutions. So that's why just now during my talk I try to make sure that yang terjadi sambil jadi ada terserah deh, pokoknya jalan aja dulu gitu ya. Tapi kita tetap berdoa, ya Allah semoga yang terbaik untuk negara kita, untuk diri kita. But of course we have to do our own, in here. We cannot just think that later on even the result is yes or no. Terserah deh mau apa. But right now what we have to do, let's we see our own first. Let we see how our own bukan berarti bukan berarti kepentingan pribadi. Our own, it mean that how is the people surround us, how the linkage, how the puzzle associated with our community. This is the thing that I always mention during the talk. Setiap hari saya hanya bilang, nggak usah lihat langit deh, saya bilang, kita nggak tahu nih langitnya hijau, biru, merah, hitam, terserah mau warna apa gitu, saya bilang, bukan warna politik ya, but the most important thing is kita lihat yang ada di sekitar rumah kita dulu deh. Let we see surround of our kampung, surround of our village, how we are able to integrate. Of course, the answer is startup, the answer is SME, ecosystem is the answer. Plug in with the big data, plug in with the social business, insyaAllah. Let we use the pandemic season right now as a time for us to prepare the engines. For those who have the engines, let's push the engine, make it strong and strong. Insya Allah begitu pandemik ya sudah berakhir nanti, then we push the button. Demikian, terima kasih kesempatan.
Terima kasih banyak Bapak Ilham. This is the last question from this session kepada Bapak Wisnu. Selamat pagi Bapak Wisnu. Satu pertanyaan terakhir sebagai penutup Bapak di sesi ini dari Saudara Kurnia Dwi Artika. Sekarang untuk peluang usaha sudah ada offline and online. Apakah ada kelebihan dan kekurangan dari keduanya mengingat uang digital lebih banyak beredar dan dipakai? Terima kasih. Monggo Bapak Wisnu.
Terima kasih. Tadi pertanyaan yang bagus. Jadi begini, pada saat kita sekarang pokoknya ada kata-kata kita sekarang memang harus berubah. Kondisi yang lalu itu sudah masa lalu, yang masa depan itu penuh ketidakpastian. Nah yang sekarang ini yang sedang berjalan. Tantangan zaman sekarang itu adalah bagaimana kita bisa mengikuti atau istilahnya beradaptasi dengan perubahan. Sekarang zaman sudah berubah. Pasar online, kemudian uang digital sekarang sudah menjadi kebutuhan. Kemudian para pemuda, jadi kita itu termasuk zaman-zaman dinosaurus, saya termasuk ya, saya itu termasuk orang lama, berpemikiran lama dan sebagainya, juga kadang-kadang juga susah karena sudah menjadi zona nyaman. Kita sudah nyaman bahwa kalau kita mau belanja pergi ke pasar, pergi ke mall, tapi sekarang sudah berubah. Kita lihat sekarang, kalau even ya ini pandemi sudah mereda, kemudian ya sudah mulai bergerak. Tapi kita lihat mall-mall yang ada, khususnya yang ada di Surabaya, di Sidoarjo, di Malang, ya, itu masih relatif sepi. Nah, tantangannya bagaimana? Ternyata ekonomi tetap berjalan dengan cara kita mereka pada menggunakan aplikasi atau online. Itu adalah perubahan. Kita harus ikut berubah. Bagaimanapun juga perubahan ini saya ada keyakinan bahwa walaupun pandemi itu berakhir, tapi tata cara perilaku kita menghadapi normal ini akan menjadi sebuah gaya hidup yang baru, dan para pengusaha tentunya sudah memikirkan cara-cara seperti ini. Saya yakin apalagi mereka punya tim yang pandai untuk membaca situasi tersebut.
Baik, terima kasih Bapak Wisnu. Semoga jawaban dari beliau berdua sudah mewakili semua pertanyaan. Apabila ada beberapa pertanyaan yang memang belum terjawab, bisa menghubungi email beliau masing-masing begitu. Nanti biar langsung dijawab. Baik, thank you so much for our first and also second speakers for sharing the ideas today. And maybe we have the point that this pandemic era really gave big impact for us, but you should don't forget that you have the empowerment, the local ecosystem, then you can deserve with it. And then thank you, terima kasih banyak kepada Bapak Ilham, Bapak Wisnu.
Selamat pagi, Prof. Ilham.
Before we go further, let's take the finalist photo first, because the previous Professor Pujono just joined with us. So please.